I'm Rachel Z, and I'm a pianist, keyboardist, and that's basically it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any daily routines, rituals with the piano?
Oh, yeah. I do have a warm up routine, and it's definitely pretty boring, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you try to play like every day?
Yeah, I try to. I do these kind of finger individuation exercises. Is this for musicians or regular people?
Mix of both.
Okay, so it's like really scales, arpeggios, and some like into finger things that just keep the hands in shape.
Mm-hmm.
And so for the regular person, it's good because if they were just doing an hour a day, it's a really good routine to do every day. For musicians, you would think it odd that I warm up so slow, but every day, just like it's a Zen kind of thing. It's like working from the space. Like I deal with effortless mastery, which is Kenny Werner's philosophy. So you work always play from the space. So I just start the day really slow and like a Zen, like a meditation. And so if I'm touring, I do that also on every new piano I meet, because I have to go to a sound check. I only have like an hour to get ready and to really understand that piano. And that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just feel it out really slowly.
Do you think it's like a better, if you don't do that, do you find that the days that you do it, you have a better mind to muscle connection and your technique is better?
Oh, yeah.
It puts you in the right headspace more than anything, you feel like?
100%. And also, speaking of a daily ritual, it's not only music, I should say. I do what's called priming. Yeah.
What's that?
Yes, and that's a routine where you do 3 minutes of breathing, right? Like to get physicality, get connected to your body. Then I do 3 minutes of gratitude.
Okay.
Like three different things, a minute each. Meditate on reliving that moment of gratitude. Then
So you pick 3 moments you've had and
yeah, so one at a time, like 1 minute of gratitude 1 minute of gratitude two, 1 minute of gratitude three. Then I do like a sun salutation for 3 minutes, where I take in energy, put it to the center of the earth, and bring it back. And then also after a few minutes, 2 of those minutes, then the last minute is for my friends or frenemies or love of my life, giving them good energy.
Yeah.
And then the last part is three to thrive. Like you picture three things that you want to get done, and you picture them completed, and you get excited, you get motivated, you relive it every single day, so that you're always connecting to what you want to get done every single day, and then you put it all together with the things you're grateful for, the things you're thankful for, the things that are your future excitement, like going on tour, your spiritual moments, and you put that all together. And it's actually a Tony Robbins routine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can check it out online. It's about 15 minutes, and it's a guide. He does a guided meditation, but you don't need to do his. He's kind of an over the top personality, and I think he's amazing.
Yeah,
I've gotten a lot out of him, but some people get freaked out by that level of energy. So you can just take the concept, but he's amazing.
Yeah,
because it's like I would say that he has that kind of focus on what you really want, and the concept of three to thrive is amazing, because then you know why you're doing everything you're doing every day.
Okay. Why do you do what you do? Leads me to my next question.
Wow. Well, in different phases of my life, I did it for different reasons, right? Like when I was like young, I guess I did music. I practiced 12 hours a day. My parents were like, wait, they're like, don't be second best, They're like, don't be half-assed, don't be a don't be an artist that gets a day job, because then you're going to take the day job like we did. It kind of laid that trip on me, where it was a little different environment back then. Like right now, I would say that musicians do need multiple streams of income, because they changed some things in the industry that made it harder. But still, if you can make, say as a musician, you call like 100 places, you're gonna get gigs. So that was an initial thing that they were very strict about. They were like, if you don't work only in music, we're gonna make you pay back your student loan. And so I had to make all those calls to get gigs, and even in restaurants, to pay my rent.
Right.
And then when I moved to New York, I was more at ease calling artists, like, or submitting my demo tape or going for auditions, like with great artists like Mike Mainieri and Steps Ahead. And so that's how I got my first gig. And then once I got my first gig, I'm trying to do an excellent job. And so a lot of my young years, up to mid 40s even, was the struggle of like having income, being able to pay rent, trying to save money, and then buy a building or something, or buy a property, or buy an apartment or something where I would have stability. And that took me until like 40 to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So people sometimes they think, oh, I'm going to graduate and then just get everything.
Yeah.
No, it took 40 to get that. It took till we were 60 to get this. Wow. Like with this kind of like nice place.
Yeah.
So that, the first thing I bought was a multifamily in Brooklyn. Where I have an apartment, mine's the shittiest, and then there's 3 other apartments and they pay the rent. Yeah. So I did some investing like that. And that, when I got the Peter Gabriel gig, that's what I did with the money. I finally got ahead, which my whole life I had not been ahead. I lived in basements mostly. Yeah. In New York City, like, or a rent stabilized place. And then once I busted out of that level, I was able to at least have a nice place above ground. For me, that was a step up, And then, so the struggle for now, and so like all those years, I felt like I was trying to get to a really nice place where I have a piano and studio, and just finally getting to that spot. Now my purpose is different, right? Because now I have the stuff I always wanted. But then the struggle never stops, because you're just like, I want to play for people. Right. We're always laughing. Like, if we had, like billions of dollars and we could get a private jet, I would want to do more gigs. Right. I'd just be like, yeah, I could go do more gigs. Yeah. And some people are like, oh, I'm tired. I want to chill. Or I want to, go to Ibiza and do parties. But for me, and probably most of my friends, they just want to go and play more cool games. Yeah. For people.
What is the coolest gig you've ever played?
Oh man, the really super coolest was at Cecil's. You know that club? It's in Newark, it was in South Orange or something, and it was like owned by a jazz drummer, and it was at 4 a.m, and my dad and like 3 other people were there. And we played Nardis, which is one of my favorite songs. And I had seen Bill Evans play it at the Village Vanguard. And we just got that energy completely captured, and my dad was there. And it was just so fun. And it wasn't about commercialization. It wasn't about anything other than one of my favorite people in the whole world got to hear this special rendition that was only for him, really.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And are your parents musicians?
My dad was an artist.
Like painter?
Yeah, an artist. Cool. And then my mom was an opera singer. Okay. And they had day gigs, and they were sad that they had to have day gigs, and they said, we don't want you to have the life we had, even though it looked pretty good to me.
Right. You get all the money, and you can still do your craft. Right? Yeah,
but they wished that they just went for their 100% music. So they sort of forced me to do it, and so I'm glad I did. Yeah. But you know, in terms of gigs, favoriteest gigs, like, so that was the most special.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had so many really special. Like when I play with Omar, Omar Hakim is my husband,
Mm-hmm.
and we play some beautiful places. Like we played like a place in Florence that was Rossini's. You know Rossini,
Yeah.
the composer.
Mm-hmm.
It was his theater.
Wow.
Yeah, it's where he performed all these operas. So that was special because of my mom, and Maria Callas sang there, and we got to play there.
Wow.
So when we played there that with my trio with Jonathan Toscano last year, and we took like a fast boat to Venice, and you know it was really beautiful. That was
Wow.
incredible. And then in my other gigs that were great were Peter Gabriel in the Garden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's an amazing artist. It was a beautiful set. It was like he had this giant ball. I don't know if you ever saw it, the Growing Up Live tour. It was like 3 amazing years of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, super amazing. And then I played with Wayne Shorter, and we had some amazing gigs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, so just working with Wayne one-on-one was also amazing.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
are some of your mentors then?
Peter Gabriel, Wayne Shorter, Mike Manieri. Those 3 guys, I would say, pretty much set me on the path.
Yeah.
And teachers-wise, I had this guy in Boston that was my... Well, I started with Dean Earl, who played with Charlie Parker,
Mm-hmm.
and then this pianist at Berkeley Summer School. Was in that.
Mm-hmm.
Then Fred Hirsch was at New England Conservatory. He was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Joanne Brackeen, she was an amazing teacher. And Richie Byrack.
Okay.
Those were like kind of my primo teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And also William Tom McKinley. He was this unknown guy, but amazing composer. He was known as a classical composer.
Mm-hmm.
So he inspired me so much. And then Gunther Schuller, and they're the Gunther Schuller's family.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was friends with the kids, and they were very supportive. So it was that Boston connection.
Yeah. I was watching another interview of yours about your time in Boston, and it really, you said it really opened up for you, right? You had a lot of gigs there.
Yeah, I played like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like 4 years after school. So by the time I got to New York, I was ready.
Right.
And I had a band with George Garzone.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
George is like, he's a little bit older than me, and we formulated concepts together. It was really sick to have that. Like, because the Marriott hired us for every weekend, and I worked
Wow.
for 4 years.
Wow.
We could play whatever we wanted, like Coltrane or whatever. You know, they did not care.
Wow.
We went crazy.
So you got all the practice at the same time you were getting your performance practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And what is your compositional life like? What is there anything that really got you into composing?
Yeah, my teacher, Tom McKinley.
And what do you love about composing?
Huh.
Like some elements of your music, like what do you think makes Rachel Sears in her music?
Oh,
You know?
it's a really good question. And I think the feminine side
Yeah?
is really more evident in my composing probably
Okay.
than in the way I play. And like in Downbeat this year, they gave me a review that pissed me off actually.
Oh, let's
That's-
talk about
Oh,
it.
it was really fun. I even called the guy. I was like, "Why'd you say that?" You know?
Ooh.
Yeah,
What'd they say?
they're probably like, "We're never gonna review you again, jerk." But hey, I'm cool with it because. But you just made me realize that maybe it was just that he didn't understand the feminine side, because like I would write a song like "Save My Soul," which is really melodic or sensual,
Mm-hmm.
really melodic, and it's like from my heart. And then I play
Mm-hmm.
on it, and I play kind of like beastie, and I like get really into the rhythm section. And the reviewer, being a man, he said, "I really like your solos, but sometimes the compositions are so pandering to, you know, people, like they're too smooth or something."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, now you just made me realize that what makes my music special is the feminine side, and that's what the songs sound like."
Yeah.
They sound really smooth and pretty, and then the harmony gets deeper and darker, and more crazy and angry, and he liked that part.
Yeah.
But he was like a little uncomfortable with the femme.
Yeah.
And I don't. So now I have to call him and be like, I can't blame you, man. You were gonna be attracted to the masculine side, and it's legit, you know, like,
yeah.
because sometimes, like, if I play with Jeremy Pelt or, you know, Ben Porowski, these guys get pretty aggressive, you know, like the sax players, you know, they dig in really hard, and that used to make me really uncomfortable. I'd just feel like, this is boring.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why can't we just like kind of stay communicating?
Right.
If they want to like lead the charge, they get aggressive. They get, you know, and so you have to, as a woman, you have to lift up, be powerful, be strong, lead them, connect, lead yourself. You know, it's like a lot of interaction. We really have to use all sides of our, you know, the whole spectrum of who we are as people.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm a female, you know, person, sort of biologically, and you know, that part is part of it. But then the masculine, when I play, I have to use it. I have to be it, you know, and embody, find it. You know, like a tree is masculine and feminine, right? Like,
right.
So that's a weird thing about music. It really makes you a spiritual being by the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that process has been. I've fought with that a lot.
Yeah. Well, how has your experience as a woman in this music industry helped you navigate it differently? Like, because I know for me at least, like, it's really taught me how to stand up and stand firm in what I believe, because some people just don't get it, like you said. So anything like that, like.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I mean, from day one. Well, actually, not really, because when I was in high school, we were more like maybe the same, you know, like it's little kids.
Yeah.
You know?
I
like that part. That was a fun phase when we were just all learning, and we were just like kind of little kids. Nobody was thinking about me as a woman, really, not really. They weren't judging me.
Right.
They were just happy to have a piano player.
Right.
Right? Because you're just, you know, you're in high school. You're like, we had such a good band. So that was exciting. And then when I got in college, I also met a lot of people that were so cool. Like this guy, Bill Banfield, he ended up being the head of Africana Studies at Berkeley. Wow. He was just like the sweetest guy ever that you could ever meet. And we had a great band. And then my roommate was Regina Carter, great violinist. And then I had a band with various individuals, and everything would seem really cool and non-sexist. But once I started having major successes, then it seemed like people were not as happy with me. Right. They were like, oh, you get that because you're a girl. Oh. I got a lot of that at first, but then when I got the next gig, they couldn't be like, oh, like, okay, you got in Steps Ahead because you're a girl. And then you got in Wayne Shorter Band because you're a girl. And then you got with Peter Gabriel because you're a girl. Well, it's going to keep going. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I also played with Stanley Clarke, Lenny White, Omar Hakim. I mean, I don't think it's because I'm a girl at this point, but that hurt me in the first gig because I was like, I thought you were my friend. Right. Why are you laying this on me? You know, why can't we just all move up? So that, I have to say, was lonely. It became lonely. So then I'm out on the road, and it's like, you're different. Right. You know, we're different. We're girls. We don't do the things that boys do on the road. Yeah. You know, mostly, okay, like, say, it's not going to be as fun to do, you know, like, as Mike Minieri said astutely, after the gig, we go to slay the dragon. Right. You know, grab the cave woman by the hair, bring her back to the cave. Right? Like, he put it so eloquently like that. And he's like, I know you're not going to be doing that. He's like, I'm sorry you're alone because I have daughters. You know, he really understood kind of the psychology of what I was going through. And then he hired my boyfriend to be in the band, who was awesome, amazing guitar player, Jimmy Tunnell. And then that had its own dynamics that were interesting too. Like, so, but it was really cool that he did that. That was so cool. Because then he was like, oh, you don't have to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe that influenced me over time because then when I had my bands, I did end up having maybe either having an all-girl band, which I had some good successes with. Those women, we built some really beautiful things, and then after that I had I got with Omar, and Omar's a legend. He's someone I always wanted to play with, and it was sort of by accident that we ended up playing because we kind of fell in love first. So, and then he was like, I think he saw me on a gig and he was like, oh, I can do better than that. So it's just like he wanted to, and he fixed that. He fixed the music so good that it just, I was like, oh, please, always fix my music, like,
Yeah.
yeah. Then I got really super spoiled, so now I have tantrums when I can't have them. but then we brought in Jonathan, who's a young man from he went to new school, and then he was just like the perfect third person, and over the last 12 years we built something very beautiful with our trio. And that's just one of the bands we've had other bands like with Osmosis, with Kurt Rosenwinkel and Lindley Marr. We've done Zawinul tribute band with amazing Gerald Beasley on bass, and Bobby Thomas, who's in the original Weather Report. So we have like certain legacy projects with older musicians, and then we like to bring young musicians along too, like Alex Lorenzi was in part of Jazz House Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of young kids through the years we played with.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's so great. So now it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what is the dynamic then between you and your husband when you're playing? Does it, because you guys are together, it makes it a whole different, like, do you feel like you almost have, like, major telekinesis when you guys are, like, playing together versus you and, just another instrumentalist? You know what I mean? Because you guys are so connected.
I think we have telekinesis more because we're well trained.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up and he did too, with the band leaders and not like he needed it. I think he had better training than I did because he's from Jamaica, Queens. And there were like monster musicians like Lenny White, like every block. There were like, Roy Haynes, John Coltrane. Grew up with his dad, knew John Coltrane really well. John held him in his arms.
Wow.
When he was a baby, so it was like he grew up with jazz royalty, so he had a lot of connections. His dad played trombone with the Duke Ellington band, and there was just such a lineage that he grew up in. I grew up here
in New Jersey,
in this town. I grew up like down the street. I grew up swimming in this lake.
Wow.
I was
Jersey girl.
Jersey kid. I was born in Manhattan, thank God, so I can say that.
So you.
But I got shipped out, when I was 6. We came out here, so there was not much jazz. There was a jazz band in high school. I didn't play in it, but I found these jazz musicians. I found a record in my dad's house, in my mom and dad's bookcase. It was a record called Workin' and Steamin'. Happened to put it on. I was like, huh, what's this? And my dad's like, oh, that's jazz. And I'm like, that sounds very interesting to me. And I'm like, can I get some more records? And he's like, yeah. So I worked at McDonald's, so I had money. I went and got Miles Smiles, and I got Nice Guys by Art Ensemble of Chicago.
Okay.
I was like, whoa. I'm like, Mom, can I go to Berkeley? She was pissed because she wanted me to be an opera singer. And she was like, you got to pay for it yourself. Because she didn't want to help me become a jazz pianist.
Right.
So I did. I worked at McDonald's. I paid for Berkeley Summer School. And then I played with these guys that we had a Steely Dan cover band, basically. And but then they also played jazz. So then that built that kind of side of the thing. And so by the time I went through all these other bands, so Mike Minieri, Steps Ahead, Wayne Shorter, by the time Omar and I played together, we had the skills.
Right.
But we had been, kind of leading parallel lives. And I always knew about him. and would like to play with him, but I was doing this, he was doing that, and then we finally came together, and it was like super cool.
Wow.
So you know what I mean? I can't say the husband and wife thing really affected that. I think it's just musician to musician.
Yeah.
And then also we trained Jonathan in similar fashion. And now it's hilarious to me because we'll just like look at each other and go to the next section, and it's like such a luxury. It's like we're friends.
Right.
So in that sense, the husband-wife thing, yeah, maybe because you have trust, but you can develop that with your bandmates over time. It takes a long time. It might take 10 years.
Right.
To have a band where you just wink and you go to the next section, you know? Otherwise, you might have to have cues. Okay, that's great, but
yeah,
when you have like, they know you're playing so well that you go to the, you know, you just can, like recently we had a gig at Smalls and Omar was not on it. I had a different drummer every night, each night, and they were both amazing drummers. One was Elvester Garnett, teaches at Montclair. He's a monster. And then the next night was Colin Stranahan. He was a young classmate of Jonathan's. Two completely different generations. And then I had this guy Dan Zinn, who's like, he's like kind of like a West Coast terrifying tenor player.
Right.
Ridiculously skilled. He practices all day. He is a teacher of many generations and of excellent musicians. Like he trains the best sax players. He's a monster. And then we had Steve Wilson, who was a monster. You know, he played with Herbie and all these people, and he runs Queens College. He's a monster. So everyone was like, what are we playing? I'm like, well, just here's the stuff. And then, so then when we played, we were able, Jonathan and I were the solid parts. Usually it was Omar and me training a bass player, but this time it was me and Jonathan and we just made up new arrangements on the spot with kind of complex music. We had the best time.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, they felt secure but they could try stuff, and I just was blown away at, you know, having had a young person come through my band that I feel like got what I got.
Yeah.
You know, like I got all that from Mike McNary and Wayne, and then he got that from me and Omar. So that's my purpose now.
Yeah.
You know, train kids, you know, talk to you guys, make sure that you're gonna have the careers you want, and maybe give you guidelines on how to do it. And then we have to fight some powers in the industry that are screwing us over. What else can you say? They are. And we need to undo that over time.
Yeah.
We need to get our money back. You know?
Yeah.
So stuff like that. We have work to do.
What kind of advice do you have for younger musicians to make that happen in the future? Or for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, for musicians, we're going to have to fight the concept that streaming is not a broadcast. Because if you get paid that kind of money, if you have a radio hit, you get paid a certain amount of money that is life-sustaining. Like my friend got a check for #1 single for 50 weeks on the chart. His first check was $500,000.
Wow.
And people are not getting those kind of checks anymore because of Spotify.
Right.
You know, the streaming services can't. And one person that did get a check was Daniel Ek, who owns Spotify. He got a check recently for $6.8 billion, which is like, that represented to me 2013 to 2023, all the money that we didn't make as middle-class musicians off of radio broadcast and selling physical product. Because before, a middle-class musician would make about 75 grand. And I'm talking, you're selling 5,000 units. That's it. You're not getting, you know, 500,000 streams or 1 million streams. So you're reaching a lot of people with those streams. So where's the benefit, you know? We could just sell 5,000 actual records and make 75 grand.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone needs. They need to make like 100 grand, you know, 200 grand on their sales so they can make the next record and go on tour and have a good time and make money. You know, it's like a job. This is a job. It's not some charity operation that we're running as musicians. We're doctors. We're healing your soul.
Right.
And it wouldn't be so bad if you gave us like $5 or $10 for that, right? It's not gonna kill anyone. The coffee costs $5.
Right.
So physical product. We have to return to physical product and an app that pays fairly.
What kind of physical product do you think? Because I have a CD player in my car, which I love.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. Like, what?
We should probably return to CD players.
You think? I love
people. People, your generation. A lot of kids are telling me they're getting those. They want Walkman, CD Walkmans. They want to get those back.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It was a little tiny bit of a pain because you could only you'd have your pouch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your pouch of CDs. You could only carry around 20.
Mm-hmm.
But how many can you listen to?
Right.
Each day you might have to plan, like, I'm going to take these 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put the rest away. And there was a little bit of thought to it. Records are really heavy, so it was hard to move.
Yeah.
But, it made for musicians better because people need to respect us.
Yeah.
And it can't be so easy. I mean, it's too easy to just get our work. And then, it's fun as a consumer, but
yeah,
it's been really damaging.
Yeah.
To 5 generations.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to say it, but it's not a good situation. And we don't have any future thinking ideas.
Yeah.
I don't have any solutions that we could say, oh yeah, except if streaming would pay fairly and be a not-for-profit.
Right.
That would work. If they shared all the money, if Apple and Spotify were like, all right, we're going to have streaming for middle-class musicians, that we think are quality artists.
Mm-hmm.
Have a block where, okay, these people only stream up to 5 million. And so they can never really make money.
Mm-hmm.
They would never get paid what they would have got paid if it was sales. So it should all be broadcast rate.
Yeah.
And if it was broadcast rate, probably the company wouldn't make all the trillions they're making, but they would be sharing correctly for the artistic works that they're receiving.
Do you think music nowadays has kind of become this lost its value to a lot of people in society? And because I don't know anyone who truly intentionally listens to music sometimes,
Intentionally. Oh, wow.
I think intentional listening and blocking out all the music that's music, but maybe it's there for a different purpose rather than to actually make you question and feel things, stuff like that.
I think that is there. And you just have to find the audience for people that want and need healing, which is really all people.
Yeah.
You find out. And even if it's so-called, it seems like a simple dance track that you might laugh if you're a jazz artist, you might be like, oh, that's silly.
Right.
But maybe it has a certain emotion to some people. So that's beautiful.
Right.
And a lot of times people will connect to a specific track, but they don't have knowledge or a way to pay the right money for it. That's the problem. It is too easy to get.
Yeah.
And it's too easy to keep. Oh, now I have it in my phone. I don't need to go buy it.
Right.
So maybe changing the consciousness about, oh, you love that song. I'm going to need you to pay me.
Give me a little something.
Yeah, you're going to need to pay for that.
Yeah.
Or, it would help me to pay for that. That would be something you can achieve at gigs. They do buy product at gigs.
Yeah.
A lot of times. But younger people in America don't really buy product that much. But they might buy a t-shirt.
Right.
So you can have alternate, or they might buy a book. There's a lot of things, alternate marketing that you could, because we got to fix, we don't have 10 years to start suing and change the laws and things. But what you could do immediately, this week, is print up t-shirts, bring a book, write a book, or make different merchandise, and then stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's also these vinyl cards you can make that are like a single.
Oh.
It's amazing, and you could just have it could play on a record player,
Oh, really?
and it can upload to an app. So
That's a cool one.
it's super cool. Yeah, that's something I'm kind of working with my record company about.
Yeah.
Because my record company prints physical CDs. They print CDs, packages. Really nice packages, nice because if there's stuff in the package, people will buy it.
Right.
And then an album, vinyl, people like vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, so mainly you have to go on the road and sell your work, and also make people aware that it helps if you are there, because they're going to be moved by what you said. I don't think there's less people being moved by music right now. I think there's more people being moved by music. They just didn't realize that, and they still don't really realize that they're decimating your generation's ability to make a living. It's really the middle class musician like us, from the new, jazz musicians are middle class musicians where you can't sell enough, because you can't listen to a 7-minute piece 100 times, right? But you can listen to a dance track in the background when you're doing like jumping around, or or you can listen to a certain kind of yoga track, right? Like something, but jazz is the stuff you listen to, so it's pretty hard to stream it, the amount of times you need to stream it,
right,
to make Taylor Swift money.
Right.
And so she's making all the money, and then everyone below is not making the money.
Yeah.
So that's where the industry changed. It's not a good plan,
right,
for you guys.
Yeah. Have you, or I guess it's 3 o'clock, you have to go.
In a few.
Alright. What has your experience been with the record labels?
Oh, man.
Good, bad, in the middle, ugly?
Wow. I mean, I've had good experiences because I was signed to Columbia in 1988, 89. So they gave me an advance.
Was it worth it?
Oh, the deal was $1 million. It was like,
you got $1 million advance?
No,
oh.
But I got $1 million contract because I had a 10 record deal.
Okay.
And each record, it was like 90, 70, 80, 90, 110, 120, each record. So you're contracted for like 10 records. And then I got publishing. Okay. I did get a publishing advance.
Right.
And so what it represented, like, about, $1 million deal for jazz.
Right.
Okay.
Huge.
Yeah, like today, I heard that they're signing people for 6 months if they have, like, say 3 million streams, right? So then they're like, oh yeah, we'll sign you for 6 months, and then that's just enough time to soak the money out of this artist, but no time to develop them over 10 years. So I would say Columbia helped me get to the next level, because they had an A&R guy, they had people there kind of telling me good and bad. Nobody knows everything. Right. I had a lot of meetings with Columbia. I was on the Tonight Show.
Wow.
Like they got a lot. Then I switched to GRP, which was another really good Universal. I think it was Universal or MCA, I forget. But they got me a lot of covers. Okay. Magazine covers. Then let's see, I was on Mike Manieri's label, which is the happiest. Yeah. Because he did a record that he believed in a lot with me called A Room of One's Own. And that record he owns, which is freaking great, because it's about, each song was written for a woman artist. Oh. Yeah, and Maria Schneider did the arrangements, and he paid a lot of money for that record. We did it with an orchestra, 9-piece ensemble. Wow. So, we're talking that record cost $100,000. in the studio. The next record after that cost $100,000 because that was with some pop stars, like that play. This guy Pino Daniele, Italian pop star, he played on it. So then, see, after that, I was on Savoy. After that, Savoy gave a decent budget, and that was good. Then things started going down a little bit, but I was on Tone Center Records, and Tone Center was an independent, a guy that just loved the music. And since then, I think I had a few more random record deals. I think 2 Japanese deals, Venus Records, and another one was on Pony Canyon in Japan, and they had good budgets. Then after that, I think we started doing independent. Omar and I formed Osmosis Media Group and Osmosis Records. And then we just do our own. Because Omar is like an engineer.
Okay.
So he can record and we can do it here. I have a Fazioli piano. And he has his drums and we mic him up. But he's an expert recording engineer. So that set us free in a way. Because we don't have to recoup to a label.
Right.
But I am happy with my record deal scenario. But I know that I don't think people are as happy now.
Yeah.
Though I would say Verve still has excellent A&R people. If you can get on Verve, they can guide people very well, young people.
Yeah.
Columbia doesn't have a jazz department anymore. So, yeah. But Blue Note still has a decent thing of it happening there. But other than, there's probably, I think there's another one called Edition Records out of London. They're good. And as a young person, you might say, well, why should I just put it out on my own? And probably, you should, because you could hire anything you need in the services to promote your product. But if you had to record it yourself, you might benefit from some of the A&R people that are out there in jazz because they're kind of pure hearts. They actually do it for the love of the music. There's a lot of people that are good people. And that's what you'll find even with the promoters in this country. If they have a jazz club, guaranteed they're doing it because they love the music. Not many are corporate jazz entities. Like the Blue Note is a corporate jazz entity owned by someone who loves jazz.
Right.
But he was successful, so it's a little more corporate. But compared to like someone who owns the Garden, or Clear Channel, it's a different level of connection to the music. Like jazz promoters generally super love it.
Yeah.
And they're busting their ass to make it happen. And they're not necessarily making the kind of money that they would make if they were booking rock.
Right.
So, I think we are lucky to have this side of the business, even though I work in rock too, and, funk and pop and even dance too. I love it all. But in the jazz side, I can count on that. The promoter's going to look at me and know something about my music.
Right.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
And the people, when you can, you asked about what's different in my music. When I write a song, my composing, because I struggle with everything in life, like mental, like my weight, like I used to struggle a lot with boyfriends. So I wrote songs always about those struggles. And when I have a song, I Won't Cry for You. And it was written for my first record, but I cried a lot for that guy.
Right.
I cried a shit ton. But when I play that song, it's like, ha ha ha, I made it.
Right.
Right. Then another song is called Artemisia. It's written for a 17th century painter, a woman whose work is right next to Michelangelo's. So I was always like, damn, women don't have good marketing, do we?
Right.
She's amazing. We should all know her too. And he even commented she was a monster painter. Wow. So I was writing about that struggle, the struggle of women artists to be known, to be seen as geniuses. So I talk about that in my shows. I have a song about bodhisattvas like Wayne Shorter, people who are high level spiritual beings, and they give a lot of love and light, and they take care of us. You know, that friend that like will uplift you or say the right spiritual, who won't be like, oh man, just relax, don't be mad at them,
Right.
you have to forgive them. You know,
Yeah.
they're always like telling you how to
Like a
be,
proverb or something.
yeah, some higher self thing, and
Right.
they're like, just let's relax, you know.
Be with the trees.
Yeah, you know, you have that friend, they're a bodhisattva. So, like, that calls us to our highest nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, you know, different song, every song that I has a story too.
Yeah.
Even though it's instrumental.
Yeah.
And then you know, so that's why I like composing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yay!
Cool.
We did it.
Woohoo! Thanks for doing this with me.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.